everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today, as you can tell by the title, I am going to be reading some of Catriona Ward's recent works. I read Last House on Needle Street last year and loved it entirely. It was my favourite book of 2022 I read that wasn't published in 2022, and it was incredible. I fell in love with the writing style and story plot twists, so I was so intrigued to see that Tandem Collective has offered people to take part in a read-along for Catriona Ward's latest release, which is Looking Glass Sound. And of course I applied, and it was incredible to hear that I also was chosen. Thank you so much, Tandem, for letting me join in with your read-along. I am so excited. I love Catriona Ward's writing, and yeah, so I will be reading the Looking Glass Sound for the next 7 days and taking part in some reading challenges, updating you on some of the discussion questions and doing some creative challenges. Also for this vlog, I thought to make it slightly longer, I'm going to be reading Sundial as well, which was Catriona Ward's book that was published in 2022. I bought it like instantly and just didn't pick it up. So this is the perfect chance for me to finally read some more work from a 5-star author that I've loved before, and see if these two books will also live up to the hype of The Last House in Needle Street. And then also I am joining a write night with Catriona Ward and Tandem Collective. This is going to be like a Q&A, informative chat with Catriona Ward in an interview type style, where we find out how she writes and gain some tips for our own writing, and doing some writing prompts ourselves. So that's going to be really, really exciting. That's happening on Wednesday, and it'd be really cool because I am also writing a couple of my own books this year, so it'd be really, really good to learn from somebody who's very successful in writing creepy stories. Hopefully it goes well. I'm really looking forward to it. I will catch up with you again soon as I'm off to read some of Looking Glass Sound. I'll talk to you again soon. So please ignore my hair. I literally just took out of a hair bun because I really wanted to give you the update on Looking Glass Sound. I am so intrigued. All of these characters have such interesting dynamics within their families, and I have a lot of questions, especially relating to Harper and what her situation is. It's very mysterious, and yeah, I kind of really enjoy this. It's so interesting. I am hooked. I've read about 3/4 of this book. I can't stop reading it. It's just so interesting. So I've already done some of my discussion points for the pages that I've read up to, and I have one left to post. So I'm going to do that. But I got to a point in this story where I needed to stop and kind of check in and tell you how it's going. I think Catriona Ward is such an incredible writer. She has such a way with words and making you question everything. I really love the setting. It's very eerie, and the cave just seems very ominous. So I'm really loving this, and I can't wait to finish it. Okay, this book, wow. Where do I even start? I was behind on the read along. On day 1 I read 4 pages, and then I got to Saturday and I was 2 days behind. But then all of a sudden I had like a reading kick and I finished the entire book in 1 day. So my brain was so fried. Like, Catriona Ward is literally a master at writing. I can't believe that I was unsure who was who was fiction and what was real. Like, it's so intriguing, and this book just had me questioning everything while I was reading it. I got sent some like discussion points to talk about. For me, one of the questions that stood out was, who do you see as a villain? And honestly, I was really curious about Harper in the beginning. She was so mysterious, and I always like wondered what her deal was. The plot twist in this, um, so bizarre, and yeah, I really love this. So I feel like Catriona Ward might become my favorite author, like one of my favorite authors, because Last House on Needless Street had me questioning everything, and how she writes so incredibly well and actually makes you believe certain characters, and you go out and like, who do you trust? Who do you trust? I know that from after reading this book, when I read Sundial, I'm not going to trust any of the characters. But yeah, this was a really interesting read. I gave it like 4.5. I don't usually do that. It would have been a 5, but I don't feel it's as good as Last House was, and that was a 5-star for me. So I think I'm going to rate this 4. But that doesn't mean it's not a good book. Like, I still love it. It's one that I'm going to have to reread. I do know that. I need to reread it just so I can get to grips with the whole entire story, because I mean, I'm not the only one who was like, what? Like, just questioning everything throughout this book. So yeah, this is incredible, and I highly suggest picking it up because Catriona Ward has such a way with words and making you fall in love with every single story. So yeah, I did finish this in like a day, so I might have to reread it at some point soon. But yeah, it was a really good read, and I think you should read this too. Now, just while I'm here, I did start Sundial after I finished Looking Glass Sound, but yeah, I don't think I've recorded a clip yet, so here's your clip. I picked up Sundial from my TBR to read in this vlog as well. I'm not that far in, I'm like 4 pages in. I did only start it like yesterday. I'm going into this knowing that I shouldn't trust what she says. But yeah, this one is like about a mother who fears for her daughter, and Callie seems really weird. She likes bones and whispers to friends and talks about death. So Rob, who's the mum, takes Callie out to the desert where she's from, Sundial, and tries to make things go away or get better or just improve her. At the end of the synopsis, it says, and Callie is beginning to wonder if only one of them will leave Sundial alive. So this sounds really, really interesting. Like, if I love this book as much as Last House, or just as much as Looking Glass Sound, I'm definitely saying that Catriona Ward is my favourite author, because these books are just incredible. And it's making me want to pick up some of her older stuff, like Little Eve, I think is the name of the book. I will be reading more of this throughout the week and like telling you little bits about it and what I think. I do also have a write-in session tonight with Catriona, and it is in partnership with Tandem Collective UK. So yeah, I will be taking part in that as well. I'm really excited to get some prompts from her and start writing, because I am on a mission to write my own story, and it'd be really cool to get her insights and use some of her prompts, because like I said, she's a master of words, and it'd be really fun to learn from somebody who I admire in the writing world. So I will try and film some bits of that, but it is online, so I'm not sure how that's going to go. But until then, I will check back in soon. The last thing that I've probably shown you in this is me finishing Sundial when I was in Nice. So Sundial was incredible as usual. Catriona Ward has been writing some of my favourite books. I did read The Last House on Needless Street last year. I just finished Looking Glass Sound for this video, and now I have finished Sundial, which was her release from 2022, and like, I've learned that I shouldn't trust Catriona Ward. She has a way of manipulating the mind and really making you think one way and then completely twisting it on its head and completely ripping out your entire existence and what you thought about it. But nevertheless, this book was probably my favourite one so far that I read in this video. It's definitely a really good read, and it's pretty dark in places, and it highlights family dynamics and how it's not usually how it seems, and you learn that certain things in life aren't how you expect them to be. Was very interesting and also very weird. I really don't want to give too much away in this, so I'm trying to be very brief in what I'm saying, because this book is easy to spoil. If I say one thing, you'll probably figure out the plot twist, and this is really worth going into not knowing a lot about it. So if you are interested in a mind-bending thriller, I would suggest picking up Sundial. And also, if you really loved The Last House on Needless Street, then I definitely recommend picking up Sundial, because it has a similar vibe, but it is certainly weird and it's heavy on the family dynamic. And as Stephen King says, you don't want to miss this book. And I completely agree with him. You don't want to miss this one. So definitely check it out. So I think that rounds out my Catriona Ward video. In conclusion, Catriona Ward definitely writes stuff that makes you think and changes things and perspectives throughout the story. It's definitely worth the journey that she puts you through. So I would say that Catriona Ward is definitely a new favourite author for me. She is the queen of horror, and I have given her 3 books that I've read no less than 4 stars, which is pretty incredible. I do want to read Little Eve. Maybe I will do another follow-up, part 2 to this video. Yeah, I hope you have enjoyed watching this. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye!